Jed here from Retiring Disgracefully. Welcome to another day in paradise. Sun just starting to come up over Lamai. A quick look around. It's about 6:30 here now. Sun starts to come up around about 6 o'clock. But it's going to be another beautiful day. Another day where it makes you feel glad to be alive. I'll just put this down here. Okay, I want to talk to you this morning about relationships. I'm no expert on relationships between men and women. I was married for 46 years and in the end I messed that up after 46 years of marriage, which is why I came to Thailand. So I'm no expert on relationships. If I was, I'd still be living in Australia, married to my beautiful wife. But unfortunately I'm not an expert, and I made some terrible mistakes, but never, not by going with another lady or anything like that. It wasn't anything like that, just I suppose the way I treated my ex-wife, and I paid the price. So anyway, I arrived here 4 years ago in Thailand, and after about 8 months of travelling around and looking to see where I live, I met a nice lady here in Koh Samui, and we moved up to Hua Hin about a year later, and we opened up a shop there, a barber's shop, because she wanted to be a barber. But anyway, that also fell apart, not due to any problems between me and her where we were fighting or anything like that, or arguing. It was more because of the shop. It became her life. I came to Thailand to live my life and enjoy and travel around the country, because this was pre-COVID, of course. And when she got the shop, well, the shop took over her life, and she loved her shop. I suppose, put it bluntly, she loved the shop more than she loved me. So in the end, I gave the choice of shop or me, and she took the shop. So, which was a bit of a shock to me. I thought she would have said, "Okay, I sell the shop." But anyway, that's another. So then, that was 18 months ago. Yeah, maybe 20 months ago that we broke up. And I haven't been in a relationship since then, till last October, which was about a year after I broke up with my original Thai lady. And I met a beautiful lady here in Samui. I came here for a bit of a break, and I met her, and I liked her on sight, and we got on very well together. And we were dating for 8 months from last October to now, but long distance relationships. I was in Hua Hin, and she was here, as she worked here in Koh Samui, and I would come up every month. I would drive up down to Samui, and then spend a month here, book a hotel, and we'd spend a month here, and then I'd drive back to Hua Hin. Now then, we broke up because of bad communication, of all things. When I was communicating with her from Hua Hin by texting, her name's Noi, by the way. Noi was very good English speaker. She spoke very good English, but for reading English, she wasn't very good at reading English, which is understandable. I mean, I'm in Thailand, I can't speak much Thai, and I can't read any Thai, so I think a lot of foreign people expect Thai ladies to learn English and speak English and write English, but she didn't read English very good. So I would text her, and she would put that onto Google Translate. And quite often, Google Translate, if you ever have used Google Translate, you'll find that what you actually say and what it translates to are two different things sometimes. I mean, the simple things like, how are you, and what are you doing, and things like that, they translate. But if you're into a big discussion about something, quite often it's not the same. The translation can be completely reversed. Well, what happened? Her gym, where she works, closed down because of COVID. And I said, okay, well, come to Hua Hin. You know, it looks like it's going to be closed for a month or so. Come to Hua Hin. And and it translated to, and I give her the reasons why she should come to Hua Hin. You know, it'd be a break for her, and we can spend more time together. And instead of living in a hotel, we'd be living in my condo, and we'd be cooking together and eating. You know, sort of living like I suppose like a married couple, not just like on holidays. But it translated to that she thought that I was only saying that to appease her, I suppose. The way it read to her was I didn't really want her to be there with me, but if she wanted to come, she could. But that's not what I wrote. And it got worse from there. We started arguing a little bit on about why she wouldn't come. And to cut a long story short, I came down to see her. I came to Samui to see her, and because of the different cultures and the different ways of Westerners to Thai people, there was a lot of anger there still, and so we decided we'd break up. And then after about a week of this, she realised that she loved me, and I realised that I loved her, and that we needed to get together and talk. So that's what's happened. We got together a few days ago, and as I said in my last video, that I don't have my girlfriend anymore. I do now. She's back. When you come to Thailand, if you're thinking of coming to Thailand and you're widowed, or you're single, or you're divorced, or whatever, and you're thinking of looking for a nice Thai lady to live out the rest of your days, a lot of people go to bars and find a bar girl, and they're very happy to settle down with you, because you can change their lives, obviously for the better. If you've got a pension and you've got some spare money and you can buy a house or whatever, then their lives have completely changed. And I have no problem with that. I like talking with bar girls. I love talking with bar girls, but I very rarely take one home, because I often think of what the man they were with the night before, or the night before that, or the night before that. In fact, I haven't taken a bar girl home since probably after the first 2 months of coming here, which is 4 years ago. But I still love to go to the bars, and I love to talk to them. I like to find out about their lives and how they got to this point in their life where they had to leave their village and come and work in a bar in Koh Samui or Pattaya or Phuket. And very interesting stories they are too, and very heartbreaking stories as well sometimes. But it works for some people, and I've heard of. I write books on Thailand, and write books on retiring in Thailand and retiring in other areas of the world. And I've spoken with many expats who've married a bar girl and are very happy, because they have good heart. And if you can forget about the life they've had, then you can be very happy. But I've also heard some very bad stories about where it's fell apart, and the man's lost a lot of money because he's she's taken him for a ride, I suppose. Both of my relationships that I've had in Thailand, when people I met not in a bar. First one I met walking along a beach here in Koh Samui. I used to walk every morning about 6 o'clock along the beach. My hotel was on the beach, and I'd get up and walk before breakfast, maybe for an hour. And I passed this lovely girl every morning for about 4 or 5 days, and she smiled at me and I smiled at her, and then the next morning it was Swadika, Swadika. And then after a while, after about maybe 5 days, I was, you might not think it, but I'm quite a shy person. I never made the first move. I walked on the beach and I said this morning, Swadika. And she said, Swadika, where are you from? And she stopped to talk to me. And I I was so happy because I got closer to her and I look at her and she's very beautiful and lovely smile. And anyway, I tell her where I'm from and I ask where she's from and I tell her, that I'm living in Thailand, I'm not on holiday. And it went from there. She worked for an insurance company and here in Samui. And I said, would like to go and have a coffee when we finish walking? And then she said yes. So we walked together and to finish the walk, and then we went and had coffee and we got to know each other. And anyway, we ended up being together after dating for a little while. And we ended up travelling through Thailand together and writing a book about that even. So that's how I found my first Thai relationship. And the second one was on a dating app. Now, dating apps here, there's many of them: Thai Cupid, Thai Friendly, Thai Dating. I think there must be about 5 or 6 of them. I used Thai Cupid, which was where I found Noi. Now, they're very good, but there's also a lot of freelancers on there who are they work in massage or they work in bars and they go on there to get someone for one night. So you have to be, if you're looking for a long-term relationship, you still have to be careful. But the good thing about them is you can just chat for a while, sort of by texting, and then you can get their Line ID, which is the phone company here, which is the most popular for Thai people, Line. For an app for free phone calls. So most of them will give you their Line ID. Then you can have a video chat and you can actually see what they look like and they can see what you look like, because a lot of people put their best photos on there and they've already photoshopped them so that the wrinkles have gone. But when you see, you can't hide that on a video. And then if you're happy, you say, okay, well, let's meet. And quite often they're in other towns as well, you can be in Koh Samui and you're talking to a lady in Bangkok. And that's another problem at the moment because of COVID. You can't just nip in a car and think, okay, I'll go and spend the weekend in Bangkok and take this lady out for dinner and get to know her. It's very hard now if you meet someone who's not in the same town as you. So these dating apps are very good, but you still have to be very careful that you don't meet the wrong person, someone who's just after your money, or someone who's just after one night, or just doesn't care who she gets as long as he's going to look after her for the rest of her life. So you need to find someone who loves you and you love them, and it's not an easy ask on a dating website either. So I suppose that's the 3 methods of finding someone, the love of your life here, is by chatting to someone you meet. It could be a neighbour, could be in the same block of condos as you, or live next door in a house, or it could be in a shop or a bank, or like me, walking along a beach and just smiling at someone and they smile back. So yeah, there's a few tips for you if you're thinking of coming out this way. If you are thinking of coming to Thailand, if you're a single male, can't talk for female Westerners going with Thai men. I've got no idea what that happens, and it doesn't happen very often. To be quite honest, I very rarely see a Western lady with a Thai man. But you see many Western men with Thai ladies. That's why they come here. They're lonely, or they come to find a wife, or they come just for a week to go to bars and take beautiful bar girls back to their hotel rooms. Something they couldn't do in their own country. You can't. A fat old man with no hair and walking with a limp can't. You find it very hard to find a lady in his own country, but they can come here and pay 1,000 baht and have a beautiful lady for a night, or they can pay 7,000 baht and have a beautiful lady for a week and take them around and feel good about themselves. So if you are thinking about coming here, be very careful. Thai relationships are not the same as Western relationships, and you'll find that there'll be plenty of ladies, especially with COVID now, there's going to be plenty of ladies there looking for a farang to make their husband or their boyfriend. But if you're an older, like me, if you're retired, don't make the mistake of thinking, oh, I'll take a 22-year-old Thai lady and I'll make her my wife. It happens, but I would think 99% of the time it'll all end in tears because the girl's immature, she's young, and she hasn't had a life, and then she's with this old man who's had his life, and they get resentful, I suppose. They want a life of their own, and they tend to stray a little bit then. My girlfriend Noi is 52, still 18 years younger than me. She's still a young girl compared to me, but she's mature. She has had her life. She's learnt a lot. She's not some flirty young girl, and she's interesting. When they're older, they're interested. You can talk about something. You talk to a 22-year-old girl. She hasn't done anything, been anywhere, so the conversation runs dry. I suppose the sex life is great, but the conversation side of it, it can be, you want to talk to someone. You want to be. It's not all about bum bum, as they say here. It's about having a relationship like you would want in a Western country. You still want to be able to talk and to laugh and to joke and to enjoy their company, and take the bad with it as well. You're going to have a few arguments. You're going to there's going to be money problems. There's going to be. It's no different. But if you're with an older lady who has some experience in life, then you're obviously going to be happier, I think. So let that be a warning to you. If you do are thinking of coming here, it's nice to. And to me, to be honest, it's nice for an older man to be with a younger girl, but not for me. I never could do that. I could never go with a young 22-year-old girl when I'm nearly 70. I couldn't do that. It's like my granddaughter. It's the same age as so it's not something that I could ever do, and I hate to see it, to be honest. When you see an old man, sort of 70 or 80, walking hand in hand along a beach with a 20-year-old young girl, and thinking that everyone envies him, or because he has a young lady, but everyone knows that she's only with him because he's got some money and he's going to maybe help her get a better life. So I'm not trying to preach to the converted. I'm sure you people all knew that before, or would be coming here if you're thinking of coming here, and be doing what I advise anyway. But if you're thinking of coming here, if you want a lady for a night, that's okay. It's up to you. But if you're thinking of a relationship long term and you want to, sort of live out your life with one lady in your life, then it's a good idea to shop around and get one that's a little bit older and more mature, and don't make the same mistakes that I did. If you're gonna go to Google Translate, always reverse check. Okay, reverse the conversation back, because you might say something like, "Oh, I want you to come and see me," and it might when you reverse it back and it goes back from Thai to English, it might say, "I don't want you to come and see me." So, always reverse check if you're going to do Google Translate or any other translation app. Okay, that's the lesson for today. As I say, I'm no expert. I wish I was. If I was, I'd still be happily married in Australia. But hey, it's okay. I'm here, and I've got a very nice girlfriend, so I'm happy.
ฉันหวั่นไหวแล้วลงไล่อย่างแรง กคุยทั้งอำเภอเพื่อเธอคนเดียวเนี่ยรู้ไหมจะไม่ยอมเล่นกับใครจะยกให้เธอเป็นทั้งใจจะมีเพียงเธอเท่านั้นจะเอาเธอแค่คนเดียวอย่าทำให้เสี้ยวเลี้ยวลับได้ไหมเพราะรักเธอจนหมดใจจะมอบให้เธอเป็นทั้งกายขอเพียงแค่เธอมารักกันฉันยอมเลิกคุยทั้งอำเภอ
รักจริงก็ให้แม่มาขอแต่ถ้ารักฟังหล่อเดี๋ยวให้พอไปยิง